One, two, three. It's Wayne from the Beautiful Freak Show on Big City Radio. I'm doing a bit of a special this week. I'm delighted to have the company of Cam Docherty from Independent Country. I played a track on my last show, went down a storm. But Cam, tell me all about your brilliant band.
Well, thanks for having me, Wayne. Yeah, so Independent Country, we've been going since 2016, I think. So we like to think of ourselves as a kind of covers band for people who don't like covers bands. So we don't just cover indie songs. So that's basically our kind of material is kind of indie tunes, but we rewrite the music, put in lots of nods to different things. So there's a kind of country flavour to the music. But we're quite a kind of rocking band when we get going as well, and we tend to go down pretty well at festivals and gigs around Birmingham and further afield. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun so far. And we've had three albums so far and a couple of EPs that enough people buy so we can make another one. Put it that way.
Great news. So, $1 million question: what makes a good indie song transition into countrifying it to make it independent country style?
To do the thing to it.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest with you, it's a lot of trial and error, really. So there's six of us in the band, but sort of three of us are the main, songwriters, if you want to call it that. So we try and find recognizable indie songs, so people are going to recognize the choruses, or they're going to recognize the words, and then it's a case of finding ones where the lyrics will work with a kind of our own tune effectively. Sometimes the tunes have got nods to famous country songs, but for the most part we kind of put twists on them. So, for instance, one track that I kind of did was a cover of the Smiths' "William, It Was Really Nothing."
Right one.
And
love that.
Thank you. And that really just came about from kind of playing a little bit of a kind of Johnny Cash type Ghost Riders in the Sky chord progression. It wasn't quite the same, but it's not far off it. And then just trying to find something that would work with it, that the audience would recognize the words to. And really, that's the kind of seed of the idea, and then we take it into the rehearsal studio with the band, and everyone in the band is creative, and they're all arrangers and songwriters in their own right, really. So basically, then the band gets it, and we work it up into something that's that hopefully works.
And do you all come from similar backgrounds, or is there a mix of genres of music that have led you to independent country?
I think we all basically were in kind of indie stroke alt country type bands in the early 2000s in Birmingham. So that's how we all know each other. So myself, Craig, the lead singer, and Phil, the drummer, were in a band called the Tooks, and then it was called Friends of the Stars for a while. And we did a Peel session. Actually, before I joined the band, they did another Peel session. So yeah, there's two Peel sessions. Simon Fox was in a band called Grover. So it was all kind of indie based. I think Dave, we've got a pedal slide player called Dave. I think he was probably in more kind of rocky bands. I don't know. I didn't really know Dave back then, so I don't know. I think he's been in a lot of bands. But ironically, he's the one that's got probably the most country instrument, in terms of the pedal slide, pedal steel slide. So no, mostly all indie, but big music fans, big, probably quite broad tastes across the band. And probably about half of us probably were kind of country fans. The other half probably not so much. But we've kind of found this chemistry that works.
Oh, it certainly does. I mean, at the moment, with the popularity with country music, I must admit, on my Saturday show for Big City Radio, there's always an element. There's always probably about 25 to 30% that are country related, whether it's classic country, alternative country, folk that then sounds quite countrified.
Yeah.
It's been a real renaissance, obviously, in that style of music. Are there any artists at the moment that are standing out to you? Because it's I say there's so many people vying now to say, oh, I've always been a country artist, or I'm moving into that genre.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the current scene for country music?
Well, I mean, I'm a bit old fashioned in my country taste. So I like George Jones and well, I could go on forever about the kind of classic kind of country artists I like. But I think you're right. I think there are quite a lot of interesting that tend to come from Nashville, the Nashville scene. So there's a guy called Sturgill Simpson that we're all pretty big fans of. Um, Jason Isbell is really good. And I think there's a number of I mean they're probably a lot bigger in America than they are here. But if you're big in Nashville and you sell records just in that part of America, you can probably have a pretty healthy career without having to kind of go any bigger than that. But yeah, so Sturgill Simpson's a big one, Jason Isbell. And there's probably more than that, to be honest. But yeah, that's the names that come to mind.
Yeah, and I've got a very good friend who's a radio plugger in Nashville, and obviously he's doing very well at the moment. Have you ever played in Nashville yourself?
No, that would be a dream. I've been to Nashville and I've been to America a few times in different cities, but Nashville, not just because of my love of country, but just as a city, it's a great city. I could really recommend just people going for a holiday to Tennessee because it's a beautiful state.
Yeah,
But no, we never played there. Would love to
I
if
bet. I
if anyone's
bet.
listening.
Before we talk about the festival, then, Cam,
Yeah.
I'm intrigued by, and bear with me here. Are there any songs that you tried to countrify, like a classic indie, that just didn't work?
There's millions of them. There's like there's you could fill the Albert Hall with them. I mean, we've actually got so we as I said, the three of us sort of try ideas out. So we kind of got a file like online, a Dropbox file online of all the demos we've done of tunes that haven't worked or haven't worked yet. I mean, they're there. We might bring them, we might dust them down, but I'm trying to think.
I'm
Let's just yeah.
looking for any comedy gold whereby, suddenly, let's be honest, when you take like a classic song, whether it's something by Stone Roses or I know, and any indie greats, any indie gods, and whether or not you thought at the time, no, this will never ever work.
Well,
Like
to be honest, I don't.
Fool's Gold, for example.
Well, I don't think we've ever. I think that's one thought that we've never had, or if we did, we probably wouldn't have carried on with half the things that we do. But no, I don't think we've ever gone anything's out of reach. Or I mean, we do a song, so we don't play it so much live, and probably I don't know why really, because we all really like it. But it's we do "Sabotage" by the Beastie Boys.
Wow, as a country song,
Yeah, and it's a kind of country ballad thing. It's just completely different. We've played it a couple of times live, and it always gets a bit of a chuckle. But no, there's nothing. There's nothing off limits. I think the only reason that things that we've tried that haven't really come to fruition is either because we've already done a song by that band, and we had this kind of unofficial rule that we would just do one by one band. So we do Made of Stone by the Stone Roses. So we haven't gone back there, but we might have to start bending that rule a little bit because after a while, you kind of what's recognizable to people and what isn't, and so no, I can't think of anything where we've really
Mess
drop the ball. Yeah.
Good one. Right, well, we're going to move on to a festival that's happening over my way because I'm a Brummie and a proud one. So on Saturday, the 8th of June, in the wonderful Cannon Hill Park, park I've got great memories of taking my kids to when they were very young. And of course, you've got the Midlands Arts Centre there itself. But on that date, you've got the Ryland Caravan Festival. I believe indie veterans and heroes could headline in, and also yourself along the bill. What can you tell me about the festival then, Cam?
So it's the second year of the festival. So it's I think the kind of term, the fancy term for it is that we curate it. So so the MAC wanted to use the outdoor theatre there. So they've got this kind of concrete amphitheatre essentially, which was not being used. Yeah, and it was not being used for a while, and then they've done it up, and I think they wanted to get it being used for bands more. They do a lot of theatre there, I think, in the summer, but they hadn't had so many musical acts. So we got into discussions with them about putting something on, and so last year we knew we would need to get a name to headline it. So it was a chance for local bands and our friends and other kind of bands, gigging bands, but also we knew we would need to get at least one headliner that would be a recognisable name. So last year we did it with Jerry Love, who used to be in Teenage Fan Club, and so we were all big fans of him. So he came and headlined it. I think we did well enough. The MAC were happy enough with the way it went to say, well, let's keep doing it. So this year we're bigger. We've got 2 stages now. So CUD have agreed to headline, which is great. They're at the start of they do an annual UK tour, I think. So this is the kind of start of their tour. So Ryan's playing, as you said, and also the headliner for the second stage, the sort of acoustic stage, is Pete Williams from Dexys.
Seen him live. What else? Obviously, Dexys original Say No More, but a great singer-songwriter in his own right.
Yeah, he's brilliant. Yeah. So we're really delighted to have him there. So that's to have sort of 2 bigger names, and then we'll do what we do. And then there's a number of bands, interesting kind of local bands. Brian Lightning's a really interesting guy that I'm looking forward to seeing. Quite kind of conceptual thing that he does, but his tunes are really great. And a band called Bitter Lemons, who we've played with a couple of times, and they've got a real kind of rockabilly kind of punch to them. They're really good. So yeah, it's really looking forward to it. Yeah,
and fingers crossed, it's glorious weather here in the Midlands. I'm only 8 miles away from Birmingham today. What time does the festival start?
So it's 3 p.m. on the Saturday, the 8th of June, and then it goes all the way till, I think the curfew is. I should check that out. Actually, there is a curfew, but I think it's 10:30. It goes to, or 10.
Excellent. Well, I'll obviously encourage all my listeners that are listening to the show today. Please go along, support. Artists. It fits in so nicely to my show because I don't play mainstream. I get the occasional good cheesy request, for an 80s song or something, and that's fine. But I'm all about unique, original, underdogs, artists and music. So the festival is certainly, I'll be supporting it, and I'll try and come along. I've got a few things, but I'm going to definitely try and come along, even if it's for a couple of hours to see you guys. Really,
well, if you do make it, come along and say hello.
Yeah, definitely I will, Cam. So what, this for me has been a perfect interview because we've spoken about your great band, Independent Country, the festival itself. Nice, sharp, punchy. Thanks for your time today. Beyond the actual festival gig that you're doing, have you got anything else in the pipeline in terms of new material or more gigs?
Yeah, so one of the things that we're doing, we've got a few more gigs through the summer. I think we're playing in. I should have had some notes in front of me. But we're playing in Wales. We're playing in Wales somewhere.
Yeah.
I'll get the details out there. yeah, independentcountry.org anyway is where all our stuff is. But so we're actually branching out and doing original songs. So I did say that we were all creative and we're all songwriters. So we're having such a good time as the six of us playing as independent country that we're creating a kind of alter ego band that we're going to do our own material with. So we've just finished an album, and we've got another half an album nearly recorded. So that band is going to be called Dime Novels, Dime Novels. And we've got an album that's done that we're just hoping to find someone to put it out, because we do everything for independent country ourselves, mostly because of the fact that we're covering other people's songs and like, you know, the kind of copyright and all that kind of stuff. So we just do it ourselves. But this new stuff that we're doing, we're pretty confident about it. So yeah, we're looking to see if someone will pick it up. So don't exactly know when that will be, but you know, watch this space.
Well, best of luck with that, and of course, it goes without saying. Please send me some material, and I'll give it a play on a future show. Well, Cam, great to meet you today. Best of luck with everything independent country wise and the original side of the band as well. The festival's only 2-3 weeks, isn't it? Yeah, it's the weekend after next. Oh no, 3 weeks. 3 weeks. So I will continue playing your music on my show and promoting the festival itself. Thanks for your time today. You've been a great person to interview, and I look forward to meeting you in the flesh very soon.
Hope so. Thanks a lot, Wayne. Thanks a lot. Much appreciated.
That's okay, Cam. I'm going to click off record, and I'll say goodbye, and we'll have a little chat after the recording, if that's okay.
Cheers.
Great. Okay. Take care. All the best. Bye.